Hey guys, Rasson here, and today is a special video. Today I'm going to be taking you guys behind the scene. I'm going to be showing you exactly how it is that I create the films that I create from a filming standpoint. We're not going to be covering editing, but we will be covering all the cinematography and the mindset that goes behind how it is I'm able to produce the films that I produce. So the first thing I want to talk about is the style of films that I tend to shoot. So what I like to shoot is what's called a travel video. So what's a travel video? A travel video is you going out into any public space and really just capturing the reality. It's usually not scripted. You don't have a storyboard put together. It's not like a Hollywood drama or a comedy or anything like that. It's just you going out, hopefully someplace epic and someplace that's beautiful, and you're just capturing the moments in the way that you want to present them. So that's what a travel film is. Now, there's three different types of travel films. There's what's called a vlog. So a vlog is very much like an extended selfie where you're walking around, you're kind of recording yourself, you're giving your perspective about whatever it is you're talking about, and you're cutting away to nice cinematic scenes, right? Then the next thing you have is what's called a documentary. Now, documentaries can also be travel films, but sometimes you have a purpose behind them, or you're trying to teach something, or you're raising awareness about something. And then there's what's called the music video, and that's what I tend to specialize in. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you guys, how we're going to put one of those together today from a cinematic standpoint. So with the music video is when you're capturing footage, and then when you go back in editing, you're going to add an epic track to it, and you're going to sequence everything together so that you have this engaging, to the beat, awesome video footage. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Later on, when we're done talking about these things, I'm going to be taking you along with me, and you're going to see exactly how I'm capturing my shots, and I'll just be talking to you and walking you through why I'm doing what I'm doing and what my mindset is behind it. So let's get started. So when you're even maybe arriving to where you're going to be shooting, or when you get there, the first thing you want to do is whatever else was going on in your day, you got to drop it. You got to let it go. You got to be present in where you are, which means that you're going to slow everything down. You're not going to be thinking about everything. Sometimes you're going to be nervous because you're like, oh my God, I'm out, I'm filming, I have to make an awesome project. Let all of that go. Drop all of that out of your mind. And you just need to relax and be present in the environment that you're in. And what I mean is that you're going to be noticing every detail about where you are. You just want to relax, breathe, be present, and really just feel into the environment that you're in. Now, by you being present, it's going to allow you to now pay attention and really feel into the environment that you're in, which is going to ultimately help you find shots that you might not have noticed if you just kind of came there and your mind was just running at 1,000 thoughts per minute. You wouldn't even notice a lot of the things that now, by you slowing your thoughts down and you just being present in the environment, you'll be able to find shots that you couldn't find before. Okay, so the second process that I'm always thinking about when I'm out and I'm shooting is keeping the edit in mind. So what do I mean by keeping the edit in mind? It means that I kind of have a general idea of what it is I plan to shoot. Now you might be thinking, if I'm out here and I'm capturing reality, how am I going to know when something's going to happen? And you're right, you're not going to, because you're going to be present and you're going to be actually seeing things in the moment that you want to capture. But you still want to have a general idea of what type of film and what type of shots you're going to be wanting to take. So that's what you call keeping the edit in mind. You're always considering while you're shooting, how is this going to come together in the edit? How is this shot going to tie together with the next shot? So the third thing that I'm always thinking about when I'm out and I'm shooting a movie is thinking in moments. So what I mean is that I don't just show up and I just start shooting and I go through the processes. I try to take everything moment by moment. Right now, this moment has particular things about it that if I'm present and if I pay attention, I can notice them and I can capture them individually, which allow me then to go back in editing and tell a story about this now moment, right? So perfect example, right behind me, we have this beautiful golden statue. We have the water going on around it. I have somebody actually taking pictures of it. You can't see, but off to the camera here, I have some children playing. I have this beautiful green grass all around me with this beautiful fountain. I have a, you can't see this, it's off camera, but I have an American flag waving in the back. So all these things I just mentioned are a part of this now moment. So if I wanted to capture the scene right now, I would first do some type of a cinematic scene with the statue. Then I would focus on the pond here. I would try to capture the children. I would capture the American flag, all in a cinematic way. Then when I go back in editing, I can tie them all together, and I just captured an entire moment. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, so the last thing I want to leave you guys with is take action. So all the things we're going to talk about, and later on as you watch me, how I actually go about and I capture things, it's important that you go out there and you practice these things. Get familiar with these different angles and camera shots and learning how to recognize them and how to set up shots. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. And what you'll see is that every time you go out and shoot, you'll learn from the last shoot, because when you come back to edit, or when you're just overviewing your footage, because maybe you're going to send it out to a different editor, but when you're looking back at your footage, you'll be like, oh man, I could have captured that. I could have did that this way. I could have turned the camera a little bit more. I could have held the shot a little bit longer to make sure I really got the footage that I needed. So the more you do it, the more you're going to learn from your shoots, which is going to allow you to get better and better every single time you go out and you shoot. And when you start getting into editing, the same thing. As you start editing and you want to put something together, you'll learn what you needed to do to make the edit better. So next time you go out and you're shooting, you'll capture it in a better way for your edit. Okay, so now we're about to get started. I'm going to take out some of my gear. Not here, but later on, I'm going to be shooting and showing you guys exactly what's in my bag. So I'll show you guys all the gear that I'm using, and then you'll be able to see throughout this shoot the things that I'm actually using for this particular shoot. I do have a drone now, but I won't be using it here. The way the drones laws work, you should not use them in populated areas. We're in a pretty busy mall, so I will not be taking any drone footage today. But I'll let you see some of the other tools and techniques that I'm using to capture all of this. So let's get started and let's show you how this is done. All right, hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you the gear I'm using for this particular sequence and this particular shoot. I'm going to keep it super simple today because I really want to show you that you can have the most basic equipment and make awesome, amazing movies, okay? So today what I'm using right now is I'm using my iPhone 7 Plus, which has a great camera built into it, and I'm using a gimbal, what's called a digital electronic stabilizer or gimbal. And what it does is that it'll control it on 3 different axes. So it helps me keep my footage really butter smooth and keep everything stable. I highly recommend getting one of these, especially if you're going to be traveling and you're going to be doing a lot of videos. Invest in one of these. I think this one right here I paid $139 for on Amazon, and it's an awesome device. So definitely pick one up. It's worth it. It's going to make your films way better and take them all to the next level. So definitely recommend that. So I'm going to turn it on. And as you see, it kind of kicks into gear, right? So now as I move around, everything is nice and smooth, right? So I can kind of do whatever I want. What I like about this one is I can put it in a different mode and I can flip it over. I'm gonna step back to follow. And then it allows me to do things like getting really low to the ground and stuff like that. All right, so great investment. Definitely suggest you go one. I'm gonna be using it today, and let's get started, all right? So a moment ago in the introduction, we were just talking about moments, right? So right now I'm in a moment, right? So what's the moment? So first thing I wanna do is just get present. I wanna really observe and look around. Take the time to do this. If you need several minutes to do it, just be quiet, stand around and look at your environment. Just really observe what's going on. So as I look around, I'm gonna have you go that way. Show these people. So I have a family here. That's taking photos in this beautiful park. I have this statue right here. It's a beautiful golden statue in a beautiful, I guess you would say, fountain, right? Kind of have a bit of a waterfall right back over here, right? I have lots of tourists that are capturing footage. I even have some residential space up top up here, right? So I have this beautiful American flag here, right? so these are all the different things that are making up this particular moment. And so now I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna start capturing these things. Okay, so one more very important, I guess, mindset thing I wanna leave you with. And it's really like an ideology I use, and I use it every time I shoot, and I use it every time I edit. And that is the analogy of building a wall. So the way you wanna look at your filming, the whole process is that you are trying to build a beautiful wall made of bricks, right? And every single shot that you take on your camera is one brick that you can add to that wall. So as you collect more and more bricks, now when you go into your editing, you can now take those beautiful bricks that you collected and build a beautiful wall, okay? So that's so important to understand and to look at it like that. Every shot you take is a brick on a beautiful wall that you're putting together. So let's go collect some beautiful bricks. Okay, so I'm gonna now go and I'm gonna capture a couple of different shots of this beautiful statue. And I wanna talk about the first thing that you don't wanna do is just do a simple, you don't wanna just do a simple pan. Most people, 9 out of 10 people who are out shooting, that's the number one thing that your brain thinks to do is like, oh wow, I see all this beauty, let's just capture it. And that's not very cinematic though. It's the number one telltale sign that it's an amateur film. So you gotta be a little bit more creative and determine, how am I gonna show my audience this beautiful statue? How am I gonna introduce it to them, right? So there's a couple of things you can do. So the first thing that I wanna show you is what's called a reveal. We're gonna reveal the statue from behind something else. So we'll do two different ones right now. I'm gonna do one reveal. I'm gonna come from behind this pole right here. And then I'm gonna do another one where I'm gonna come up from beneath the bushes. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up pretty close on the pole, right? And then I'm gonna kind of set the shot up first, right? So as I set this shot up, I can see where my focus needs to be. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go on the statue, I'm gonna tap my screen, which is gonna focus it. I'm gonna hold it there. Now that's called an AE, automatic focus, automatic exposure lock. So that means no matter where I put the camera now, it's gonna stay so that it's only focused on that. So I'm gonna start behind the pole here, and just slowly reveal out. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna be doing another type of reveal. I'm gonna be, I turned over my gimbal here, so now he's upside down, which allows me just to hold it from the top. And I'm gonna be coming from the bottom of the bush and I'm gonna reveal the statue, okay? So that is a completely different type of reveal than the reveal I did with the pole over here. So I'm gonna use both of them, and when I go back into editing, I'll determine which one's gonna actually make it into the film. Okay, so now I'm gonna capture the American flag that we talked about, right? So I'm gonna do the exact same principle. I'm gonna do a reveal. I don't wanna just pan across it. I'm gonna reveal it to my audience, right? And then we'll determine exactly how we do that back in editing. But like I told you, I'm gonna collect a beautiful brick right now to help add to my beautiful wall that I'm gonna build. Another type of shot I'm going to be showing you right now is a great transitional shot. What I mean by transitional shot is that when you're going back in your edit and maybe you just shot one moment or one sequence and you want to move it to something else, then you can use a shot like this to help you make that transition. So what we're going to be doing is I'm just going to be recording my feet walking along this particular pavement, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera, I'm going to point it down at my feet, I'm going to hit record. And the only thing you really want to watch out for is your shadows. You want to make sure that, try to keep your shadow out of the shot So you're gonna kind of have to position yourself differently based on where the sun is at, depending on what time of day it is. Okay, so another type of reveal shot you can take is the same one we just talked about where you're showing your feet, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna show your feet and you're gonna reveal up to see what's in front of you. So it's still a reveal, it's a different kind of reveal. So let's go in and do that one right now. Right now I'm going to show you how to do a shot that's really going to help you engage the senses and what it is that you're shooting, right? So whenever you're shooting something, you really want to try to bring in all 5 senses. You want to bring in sight, smell, hearing, taste, smell. And one of the ways you can kind of bring in that feel of the moment of where you are is through a similar shot like this. You've probably seen it before in some of my videos where it looks like I'm kind of interacting with the subject a little bit. And it's always a really quick shot. It's never more than 2 seconds long. It's just to give the information in the video that I'm interacting with nature in some way. So right now I'm going to be capturing this clock right up here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, it's called a sweeping shot. A sweeping shot is different than an actual just a pan where you go like this. I'm going to allow it to come from one side of the screen onto the other. It's going to be a real smooth transition, and it gives me a lot to play with when I'm in my editing software. Okay, so one of the also really important things I want to talk to you about is that understand as you're going out in your day and you're capturing your footage, when you go back, it's not going to be in the same order. So you're not going to edit everything in the order that you captured it. So like you might start your day off with your closing scene of the video. And you know, somewhere in the middle it might be your opening scene. So as you're moving throughout the day, capture the different moments that you see and understand that when you go back in editing, you're going to sequence it the way the movie comes together. Hey guys, so we're going to be taking another shot right here. We're going to be interacting with nature, and with this particular shot, I'm going to be coming through this tree right here, and you'll see as I get the shot, basically what I'm doing is I'm capturing the sun as it penetrates through the different leaves, and it gives you a really cool effect. So let's go ahead and shoot it. Watch this. Okay, so one of the things I want to definitely bring to your attention is that when you're out and you're shooting, and it's going to be different no matter where you are in different parts of the world, but you got to be really so aware of your surroundings and kind of what the rules are in regards to shooting. Obviously, you're out there, you're with a camera, and when you first start doing it, you're going to be nervous and you're not going to want to get shots because you're going to want to feel like everyone's looking at me. You do, to a certain extent, have to get over it. I call it guerrilla photography, meaning I'm out there, I get the shot, and I put my camera away before security or anyone else can come up and kind of grab me. But at the same time, you don't want to ever be breaking rules. So like we're actually shooting right now, security approaches and let me know I can't have a tripod out. That's going to be very common in most places, so be prepared for that most places won't allow you to have a tripod. I get away with it 90% of the time, but you got to be very aware of the fact that at any moment a security officer or a police officer might ask you to put the tripod away. Actually, this place we're in right now is really strict. I was shooting with the DSLR, shooting this video. They told me I'm not allowed to shoot a professional camera, so my wife had to now take out her iPhone, so she's shooting this on her iPhone. I'm shooting this for you guys on my iPhone, so we're pretty compliant. But it's just things I want you to be aware of. Don't let it deter you from getting your shots. Try to work within the rules the best you can to get the shot, because when it comes down to it and you go home and you're back on the plane from that vacation, you can't always go back and re-get the shot. So you want to get as many beautiful bricks as possible so we can build this wall together. Okay, another tip I really want to give you guys is the concept of from what level that you're shooting from. So a lot of times we think to shoot at eye level because that's the level that we see the world. But one of the cool things you can do in a travel video is shoot from a lower perspective, because it makes everything seem more big and more epic, and it kind of gives you the perspective that you're seeing everything from a child's point of view. And you know how children tend to have that, you know, for the first time seeing something, you really get to convey that when you shoot from a lower angles. So if you have a stabilizer like I do, what I like to do sometimes is flip my stabilizer upside down, and then I'll literally shoot right off the ground, right? So let's give you an example of that right now. Okay, so here's an example of me shooting from a really low profile, low perspective, and capturing the footage, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now we're gonna shoot a time lapse. Time lapses are awesome. I love them for so many different reasons. They're a great way to start a movie. They're a great transitional type of footage where you can go from one type of scene to another. Basically, a time lapse is when you see footage and it speeds by really, really fast. Looks like the whole world is passing by in a couple of seconds. That's what we're gonna shoot right now. Now, the cool thing is I'm shooting with iPhone. iPhone has a time lapse setting on it, which allows you to just hit that button and you turn it on. It'll record and it'll put the whole time lapse together for you. All right, so if you're not shooting on an iPhone and you don't have that feature, then you're gonna take whatever camera you have, you wanna put it on a tripod so you have a nice steady shot, and then you're just gonna hit record and let it record for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's gonna be a pretty long clip, but that's okay, 3 to 5 minutes, and then when you go back in editing, you'll be able to speed it up to about 2000%, and you'll create the exact same effect. So with a time lapse, it's really just about waiting. You just allow your camera to face the section you want to face. It's recording. You let it sit there for a couple of minutes. It's a lot like fishing. Allows you to be present. Sometimes, depending on where you're at, like I'm in a busy place, so I wouldn't leave my camera alone. But if I'm in a more like nature place, like a national park or something, I can set up a time lapse and I can literally go someplace else and I can go shoot other footage with my other camera. Okay, so another aspect of your filmmaking and you creating a travel film is you letting the audience know that you are the filmmaker. So there's a lot of different techniques and things you can use to do that. Sometimes you're gonna be filming in selfie mode, so you're gonna take the camera and you're gonna face it towards you and kind of just do a spin around. I'll do one right now. Let's keep recording. The spin around is a great move. The reason why I like to use it is because every time I go out and shoot, I shoot that same shot. And so at a later date, I'm gonna edit them all together from all the different surroundings, and it's gonna create a great effect. Another thing, it's a great way to say goodbye at the end of your movie. You could just take a 1-second clip out of there and you can add a little wave. It's showing that you are actually in the environment that you're shooting, which shows that you are the filmmaker, you are the creator of this footage, you're not borrowing it from someone else. So there's a lot of different reasons you're gonna wanna put yourself into the film, depending on what the situation is. If you're making something like more for a marketing standpoint, then you absolutely want to put yourself in the film, and hopefully you have a partner that you're switching back and forth with, where they shoot some footage, you shoot some footage. When you're doing travel films, that helps out a lot too, is having a partner that is equally as knowledgeable about you as shooting the movie, so you guys can help shoot each other, and then you bring it all together in the edit. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you another type of shot. This is a shot that I kind of came up with. It requires a tripod and your stabilizer. And what you're going to do is you're going to flip it all upside down so that the camera's running. You hit record, and then when you walk, you're going to keep it as close to the ground without hitting the camera against the ground. And you're just going to let it capture your feet as you walk by. Alright? Go ahead, leave it. Okay, so now I want to touch a little bit on what it takes to actually shoot people. So when you're shooting human subjects, you're gonna see that when you first start shooting them, most people are really nervous and they just kind of tense up, or they start kind of acting for the camera. Just understand that it's gonna happen, and what you want to do is try to give like an extra 20 minutes where you're just spending time with the person that you're going to be shooting, and you're going to get them familiar with being on camera. Ask them questions, think about a time that maybe you guys had together that was happy, and ask them about it unexpectedly. So you're kind of walking with your subject and, hey, remember that time you told that funny joke? And they're going to respond to that probably in a more natural way. Capture that, and you'll see when you go back to edit, you'll be able to use little 1-second, 2-second clips of that, and you're going to have great footage of them. Okay, so now we're going to be shooting a little bit more nature. I'm going to be shooting these palm trees right up here. And me personally, I love shooting palm trees. Palm trees are very nostalgic for me. I grew up in Los Angeles. There's palm trees everywhere. So whenever I'm out, no matter where I'm traveling, I always try to capture palm trees. They're just a great addition for my travel videos. So there's a couple of ways you could do it, and we're going to cover some of those right now. So the first way is you just want to get right up underneath the palm tree. I'm going to show you right now. And you just want to literally bring the camera around the palm tree. So watch this. Stay right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just do kind of what's called a sweep, and I'm just going to go across, and in that I'm going to actually capture a couple of the palm trees. What you want to do is just make sure you always have motion in every shot. Motion, and you have to understand this is video, it's not still photography. So you always want to have some type of motion. Either your subject needs to be in motion, or if you're doing something stationary like a tree, then your camera and your shot has to be in motion.